That time of the week, let's get ready for some Jets-Dolphins football. What's up, Fin fans? So, tomorrow, the New York Jets will be coming down to Miami to face the Miami Dolphins. So let's break it down. I'm going to talk about some roster moves, some injuries, obviously. A ton of injuries. Then more update on Tannehill's injury. Then we'll go over the injury report. And then 5 things the Dolphins need to do to beat the New York Jets. So let's start this MFer off with some news and notes. Cordell Tankersley tears his ACL, out for the year. Add that to the list. So with him going to IR, Jake Brendel, who was put on IR in the beginning of the season, but with destination to return, is now on the 53-man roster. So we have some depth at center, and we have some depth on the offensive line in general, because Brendel can play guard really well. This has already happened, but defensive tackle Taylor also injured, put on IR. I'm telling you, if it doesn't happen to us, it doesn't happen to anyone else. I will comment below. I might be wrong, but try to find a team that hasn't been more injured than the Dolphins ever. Like, I feel like this season has honestly have to be the most injured team in all of NFL history. With how many players we have on IR, it's ridiculous. I'm probably wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but let me know. Next, Ryan Tannehill's injury has now been released to us, and essentially it's a capsule injury. A lot of people are like, what the hell is a capsule injury? Some people are like, oh, a capsule injury, that might take 2 to 3 years for him to heal. Here is the legit definition of a capsule injury. In the world of anatomy, the word capsule is defined as a tough sheet of membrane that encloses something in the body. In the treatment of athletic injuries, the shoulder capsule or covering can directly or indirectly be the cause of shoulder pain. When capsule tissue is pinched, it can cause pain. When it is loose, it can create instability, and when it is tight, it can place greater stress on the rotor cuff tendons. Since the capsule is involved in most chronic and acute shoulder injuries, your personalized physical therapy treatment should include techniques that address the limitation of the capsule and strengthen the surrounding muscles. So, which one is it? Is it limitation? Is it instability? Which one is it? Again, we don't know, but he has a capsule injury in his shoulder. I don't see him playing this week. Obviously, he's already out. I don't see him playing next week against the Packers. But if he doesn't come back against the Colts, then he's done for the year. I will say it right now. If Ryan Tannehill doesn't come back for the Colts game, if he doesn't come back after the bye week, then it'll be 5 weeks of him not practicing or anything. And essentially, he's done for the year. And if he's done for the year, that kind of sucks, because then he can't prove to the fans and to a lot of people that he is a good quarterback and he has the right to stay with the team for another year. So we will see what happens. But that's what's going on so far. With Tankersley tearing his ACL and going to IR, I honestly think that the Dolphins are going to pick up another cornerback. Will it happen before Sunday? No. No. It's too short of a time, and there's no, like, he's not even going to learn the defense, and it'd be a shit show. So no. But I honestly think that after Sunday they will pick up a corner, because we need help, because McTire is booty holes. Complete booty holes. So don't worry about that. Now let's get to the injury report. Here's the full injury report. The only players that didn't practice fully or on a limited basis was Charles Harris and Cordell Tankersley, who's now on IR, so we don't have to worry about that. So Charles Harris, again, not practicing. He has a chronic calf injury, and those types of injuries are hard because you're constantly walking on them. So he didn't practice, and he's officially ruled out. Ryan Tannehill with his shoulder, with the capsule. He practiced, but he wasn't throwing. So that's why it says a limited practice. So he was there practicing, he was going through the motions, but he wasn't throwing. And he was throwing, but he wasn't throwing with power. So he is out. And then Kenny Stills was there, was stretching, was getting rehabbed, didn't practice with the team, but is limited and questionable. So a lot of people are saying that, especially Adam Gase, says Kenny Stills doesn't need to practice. He could still play off of no practice, which I agree, because he's been with the team forever. So will he play on Sunday? I'm going to say it's probably like a 60 60-40 chance that he doesn't play. Say there's a 40% chance that he plays. It all depends on what happens during warm-ups. And they're in Miami, so he doesn't have to deal with the cold, even though right now it's not cold. I'm sweating my ass off. He doesn't have to deal with the cold and the tightening and all that stuff having to do with his groin. Then the other questionable is Xavier Howard, but he practiced fully, so don't even worry about that. He's playing. And then AJ Derby with his foot, but he had fully participation, so he's also questionable, so he's also playing. So the only players that are in question that are questionable is Kenny Stills. So far, besides all the IR that we have, it's a fairly healthy team when it comes to who's actually on the roster and not chilling in IR. We should just call ourselves the Miami IRs, because our whole team, all the talent, most of the talent on our team is on IR. Sucks. But that is your injury update. That is your idea of what's going on with the team. So let's get into the 5 ways the Dolphins beat the New York Jets. Number 1, say with me, boys and girls, gotta stop the run. I'm not afraid of Sam Darnold. I know a lot of times when the Dolphins go to New York, they whip their ass, and when the Jets come to Miami, they whip the Dolphins' ass. But I'm not afraid of Sam Darnold. He's still a rookie, he's still making mistakes if you saw against the Bears game. So we need to stop the run. We stop the run, we put it in a one-dimensional defense, one-dimensional offense, and we force Sam Darnold to make mistakes. Goddamn, I'm tired of sitting there and watching these run plays go for huge amounts. Gotta stop the run. That's number 1 on the list for the rest of the season. I don't give a shit who we play. We could play a team that their running back is Grandma Juliet and she has a walker. Stop the run. Stop the run. Number 2 kind of coincides with number 1 because it involves the defensive line. If you get in here and what I'm getting at with the defensive line, I've said this multiple times. We got to pressure Darnold. The first game we played them, we pressured Darnold. We sacked him, I think, 3 or 4 times. We got in his face. We messed with his head. We caused him to throw turnovers. We need to pressure Sam Darnold. We need to keep doing it. Cameron Wake, Robert Quinn, Ziggy Hood, Andre Branch, all 4 of those MFers need to pressure the quarterback. You have to get at the quarterback and pressure him. These defensive tackles, we also pick up Williams, so now we have more defensive tackles. You got to take on 2 blockers. You can't take on 1 blocker, and you need to get pressure. When you take on 1 blocker, the other friggin' offensive linemen get to the second level and the block of linebackers. That has to do with the run, but also can do with getting pressure when we blitz. We blitz and we never get in, and I hate watching a blitz because when we never get in, that means there's somebody's low one-on-one and a blown coverage, and oh god! We need to get pressure on Darnold. We need to do exactly what we did the first game, and there's a good chance we would win this game. Gotta run the ball, baby! Run it! I know a lot of you guys are like, Adam Gase sucks, he's an idiot, he doesn't use Kenyon Drake to his fullest. He actually does use Kenyon Drake to his fullest because he puts Kenyon Drake in space. He doesn't run him a lot because that's what he wants Frank Gore to do. Frank Gore constantly gets yards. Frank Gore constantly produces. He has a great average when it comes to whenever this dude touches the ball. So that's why on first down and stuff, we have him in there to bullet and get it to a short and manageable, third and manageable. Whereas Kenyon Drake, he's more of that scat back. He's more of that back that is trying to hit that home run every time, which it's nice when he hits the home run, but when he's dancing and he loses a yard or 2 in the backfield, it sucks. And I know a lot of guys are going to say, look at Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders would lose 4 or 5 yards, but then he would gain 30. Yeah, it's great, but it hurts when we need it to go forward. So that's why it's the type of play that we're getting now out of Gore and Drake. When we need the 4 yards, we put Gore in. When it's like, all right, let's try this, we put Drake in. Also, Drake goes out to, wide receiver a lot. There's a lot we do with Drake. So I went off on a tangent, but still run the goddamn ball. Number 4. With the shittiness that comes with our defensive line, constantly giving up big plays on defense and constantly giving up scores on defense, the offense needs to limit the penalties, and you got to score in the red zone. When you get down in that red zone, I don't care if it's a field goal or a touchdown. I obviously prefer a touchdown. We need points. Look at the Texans game. Okay, it's 4th and 1. Go for it. Cool. I don't hate the call for going for it against the Texans. What I hated was the play. Why are you gonna like just take this 6'7" lanky ass man and stretch him over the line to get the first down? Stop rolling him out. He's not Ryan Tannehill. If you roll him out, he's slow as shit. Ryan Tannehill can roll out, get out there, doesn't see anything, runs for the first. Brock Osweiler's gonna roll out, bloop, 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 and then and then all of a sudden he's dead. So you're in the red zone, we need points regardless, unless you're gonna fucking QB sneak it. You gotta stop with this. We gotta limit the penalties. We can't be in 1st and 20s. We can't be in 2nd and 25s. We can't, like, we do something, we gotta stop going backwards. We gotta limit the penalties, we gotta score in the goddamn red zone. And the last thing this Miami Dolphins team needs to do, like I just said, Brock Osweiler, he has good pocket presence, it's not great. Brock Osweiler is not mobile, and he has no speed to him whatsoever. He's a pocket passer. He likes to be comfortable in the pocket, he likes to sit there, he likes to look, and he likes to throw the ball. You need to protect him. You can't have what happened against the Texans where this dude was getting sacked, because then all of a sudden he gets frazzled and then he sucks. If you notice in the Broncos games when he won, especially against the Patriots and stuff, it's because he had a clean pocket. He wasn't scared. He wasn't afraid of getting hit. That's what this Dolphins team needs to do. The offensive line needs to produce runs and they need to protect the quarterback. The defensive line needs to stop the run and needs to get at the quarterback. His whole team is predicated on these lines. If the defensive line can get pressure, if they could stop the run, this team, I'm guaranteeing you this. If this defense can do what they've been doing and the offense can continue to score 21 plus points, this team can be a 10-win team. There's teams that are you're playing in the second half of the season, like the Jets, like the Colts, like the Bills, like the Jaguars, that we could beat. We could beat these teams. We can even beat the Patriots. We could beat the Packers. But we need that constant play on defensive line. See what I'm getting at? So we need to protect him. My prediction with this game. Now, I don't think that this game is going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a 20-0 halftime game like it was the first time, because that was week 2. And Sam Darnold was still super new and he didn't know what he was doing and all that jazz. I think the Dolphins will win. How confident am I in that? It's like a 50-50 with me, to be honest with you, with these Dolphins, because every time the Jets come down to Miami, it's like, except for last year, they beat them, but that's because Josh McCown was just being an ass. So I think the Dolphins will beat the Jets. They could be like a 21-20 win. But I honestly think that it's going to be a different game. I think it'll be a closer game. I think the Dolphins will pull it out. I think that having that rest, playing on a Thursday, will benefit them. Plus, coming down to Miami with the Jets, hopefully that helps, even though it didn't help against the Lions. So like I said, a 21-20 win. Dolphins will beat the Jets. God, I hope so. I said this, so the Patriot game was the, is this team really a good 3-0 team? That was that test. Then the Bengals game was, okay, let's see how this team bounces back after a loss, right? So those were those pivotal games. This game here, this Dolphins-Jets game, is the game where the end of the season can go one of two ways. If we lose, we can still make the playoffs. Like, we're not knocked out of the playoff race. Having that 3-0 cushion was huge. But if we lose, I honestly, it's not going to be good. I don't think we'll get more than 6 wins if we lose. If they win, it's going to point in the right direction. They can start making moves. They could start bringing in maybe a corner, start building off of this win, and do what they have to do, because they still have their bye. And the bye is even more important. So that's how I feel. Comment below. Let me know what you think. If I missed something that you think the Dolphins can do to beat the Jets, comment below. If you're a Jets fan and you have ideas of how they could beat the Dolphins, comment below. I know I'm probably going to get, you're an idiot, Dolphins suck, you don't know what you're talking about. But comment below, let me know. Speaking of comment below, you know what time it is? Comment of the day. And this one comes from Malik Powers. I hope I said your first name right. If I didn't, I wholeheartedly apologize. They said Albert Wilson's supposed to come back in December. So I was like, wait, what? I didn't hear about him being put on IR with designation to return. So I looked it up and they said, yeah, if his rehab goes well and if he progresses to the point where he is better, there is a chance come December that he can come back. That would benefit the shit out of this team if he can come back in December, because if you look at the December games, even if he came back for like the Patriots game, say he came back for that game, that would be huge, because then we have the Patriots, the Vikings, the Jags, and the Bills. Those 4 wins. We don't know where we'd be at record-wise. If I had to predict it, right, I'm going to predict our win-loss going into the Patriots game. We're 4-4 right now. I say we beat the Jets 5-4. We lose to the Packers 5-5, and then we win the next 2 games. We're 7-5, right? Then if we beat say he comes back, right? We beat the Patriots 8-5. Woo! That sounds pretty good. We have 3 games left. We have to win 2 of the 3. And it's a possibility with the Jaguars and the Bills. It's not unlikely. So if that is true that Albert Wilson can come back in December, and Albert Wilson has the potential of coming back in December, which after he said I looked up, that's fantastic, because that will help this team hugely on offense. And then we just got to hope that the defensive line does what I've been telling them to fucking do. But thank you for the comment. Always comment below. Next video, the reaction to the Dolphins-Jets game. I am taking the question from Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, and after the game, if you have a bunch of questions or if you have a bunch of comments, comment on Twitter. I will, when the game's over, I'll tweet out, hey, I'm going to do my video, comment me questions, or hashtag it, Ask Dougley. And then I'll know to look for it. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. I tweet out a bunch of things. Like I said, I'll be tweeting the Dolphins-Jets game, so we can hang out there and chat. Follow my second channel, The Bit Boys. Played Madden the other day. If you watched it, you could see if I won or lost. And if you could see if I made them quit or not. We played a ton of games. You go over there, comment, subscribe if you like, but let us know if there's a game that you'd like to see us play. We'll definitely play it. I guarantee you we'll play it. Christmas is coming up in December, so there's a bunch of Christmas games we want to play. So if you have any idea for Christmas games you want to see us play, like I said, if you like video games, go over there, subscribe. Give this a thumbs up, because I know a lot of you guys have given up on this team because of some of the bad losses. I know a lot of you guys are done with this team because of some of the bad losses. But I don't think the season's over, and I don't think this team is as bad as it's going to be. I think this game is, like I said, going to be the deciding factor on which road we're going to go down when it comes to making the playoffs or sucking it up. But give a thumbs up, because the season's not over, and hey, you're a Dolphins fan, you love this team, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I do this all the time. Talk about football, I talk about the Dolphins. Just, if you like what you're seeing, if you like me, if you like my stupidity, subscribe. And I will see you guys on Sunday. Hopefully, please, Lord Jesus, after a Dolphins win and we sweep the Jets. But other than that, like usual, guys, stay classy. Fins up. Half of the season is here. We are now at week 9. After the first 4 games, I did my quarterly review for you guys. This week, I'm doing half the season, so I'm going to do a little bit more in depth. I have, stats. I have our rankings from the half of the season. I'm going to break down who I think the team's MVP is. I'm going to break down